What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Lucky7 and I'm back with another video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you click that bell so you can be notified whenever your girl posts. Today is about to be a totally different video. This is a message to the world based upon my father, who has life in prison, known as Larry Bush Jr. I'm gonna put the picture of him right here. So, a guy named Chad Marks decided to make a video about my father with false information, and we are here to clear up the wrong information that was put out. Now with this, my father has something to say. But before, I am going to put a clip of his video. I'm going to do that in a second. But I just want to let y'all know that I am not here to throw no negative vibes towards Chad Marks. I'm not here to bash his name or anything like that. What he said, some of the things he said were true about the facility, about the prison that my father is in. But some of the statements that he did say were false. So, I'm going to enter the clip of him speaking upon my father right now.
It's a story about a dude named Larr, right? Larr Dogg's in federal prison. He's serving a 20-year sentence. I believe he was from California. And he's in an organization. Yeah, you know, a prison gang, right? He's in this organization, and his homeboys, pretty much tell him, he did something wrong. They want him to go up top. What does up top mean? That means he had to go to protective custody. They didn't want him on the compound no more. They said, you got to go. So what happens is he checks in to PC, protective custody. He goes in the back, and he's down there for a few weeks, and the cops come in and say, hey, look, we did a threat assessment on you. You have to go back to the compound. I mean, this is the things that they do in the Federal Bureau of Prisons that you as taxpayers don't know. They will put you in an environment to either kill or be killed. They tell him, you got to go back to the compound. He's like, man, I ain't going back to the compound. I got beef out there. I can't go back. They're like, we did a threat assessment. If not, we're writing you up. You got to go back. So Larr says, you know what? All right, I'm going to go back. He makes a little, prison shank, whatever. And he goes back. He comes back out on the compound, right over here to that building. Let me see. Boom, that building right over there. He goes back to that building, and his homeboys that sent him up top, the dudes that sent him to protective custody, they press him. And they're like, yo, look, man, we told you, man, you can't be out here. You got to go. He's like, man, I ain't going nowhere. Now he's in his feelings, right? Prison politics, prison pride. And sometimes prison pride could end up getting you killed in prison. He's like, man, I'm not going up top. So his homeboy, who has like 87 days left, he's like, yo, bro, I told you got to go. So he's getting ready to handle that business. Well, Larr pulls out that shank, and what do you think he does? They square up. Boom, he hits the dude, hits him in the heart. Dude jumps back, gets ready to fight. This is the short version of the story. Dude jumps back, gets ready to fight. He's like, damn, bro. Oh, you stabbed me? Oh, yeah? And he falls to the ground, and he takes his last breath. His blood's left there on the razor wire. These are the things that happen in federal prison. These are not just stories. Federal prison is not Camp Good Day Special Times. It's not a place where, you go and you play tennis and you have a great time and they're feeding you steak. And it's not like state prisons. And you always hear people talk about, I'd rather be in the feds. I can tell you that what happens in federal prison is, it's horrendous. And, some of this stuff is starting to come to light.
Okay, now you guys seen that clip of what Chad has to say about my father. Now we're about to play what Larry Bush Jr. have to say, aka OG Larr, has to say. And this is the truth. Everything he said is all facts. And we're going to play that right now.
First, let me set the record straight. My name is Larry Bush Jr., well known as OG Larr. Mr. Chad misspoke on my situation on his platform on TikTok. Mr. Chad unknowingly opened the hurt, pain, and unsettled feelings of my family and friends by even speaking on my situation. I'm currently serving a sentence of life without parole behind a situation gone wrong at USP Lee County back in 2008. I was basically railroaded for merely protecting my life. I was charged with first-degree homicide, and I faced the death penalty because of this incident. It was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. Now here's my side of the story. Mr. Chad had very valid points about the federal system. These prisons are very hostile environments where you will have to protect yourself. In my situation, prison politics got carried away and my life was threatened. It was brought to my attention that an imminent threat was coming my way, so I immediately went into fight or flight mode. Unlike what Mr. Chad said about the situation, I did not go into protective custody. There was no time for that. A major threat was made, so I reacted in self-defense of my life. I never spent 2 weeks in the SHU. Mr. Chad got that all wrong. I get what Mr. Chad was trying to convey to his audience, but a threat was imminent, so I reacted in a way that caused the demise of 2 people, me and this other inmate. Unlike what Mr. Chad said, I came to prison for being in possession of ammunition, yes, bullets, and no weapon at all. I was sentenced to 17 and a half years, not 20, but 17 for bullets only. So I was a victim of the racial disparities of this unjust system. To even be considered for a 17 and a half year sentence for bullets without a gun. After being sentenced, unfortunately, I was shipped to a level 7 prison yard at USP Lee County, which, like Mr. Chad said, the level of violence is very overwhelming. So homemade shanks and knives are a necessity to staying alive here. I identified with a lot of the key points Mr. Chad made on this platform, because level 7 prisons are really serious and dangerous. Due to not having adequate legal representation who was willing to help portray my side, I was faced with the death penalty alone. I ended up, with life without parole on a plea agreement because I was afraid to face the death penalty. I was afraid to face the death penalty without the proper representation of a jury of my peers. I was in a Commonwealth state of Virginia, a rural area where there was little to no African Americans to even sit on my jury. While waiting 4 years to even be indicted, my son was murdered. At the age of 19, through senseless gun violence. After being sentenced, I was sent to ADX, to Supermax, where I spent 10 years receiving 1 or 2 phone calls per month total. This is after I spent 4 years in the SHU at Lee County, even waiting to be indicted. I had to take court-appointed lawyers who didn't care about my life or situation. They just wanted to get it over with. No investigation was done on my behalf. So now here I am, 15 years later, having to relive the nightmare of facing the death penalty, and then ended up with life without parole. All because Mr. Chad wanted to shine a light on this horrible prison system. Here's what people don't know about me. I'm emotional, hold up. Okay. My mother died when I was 2 years old. She had breast cancer. She died at between the age of like 25 and 27. My father passed away when I was 12, so his mother raised me. I grew up hard without my parents around. My grandmother did the best she could by herself. So I was mischievous and ran into trouble as a youth. I said that to say that I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes in my life. But nothing worthy of spending the rest of my life. prison. There's nothing worthy of me spending life in federal prison, the rest of it. I'm a father of 8 children. And like I've mentioned, I've lost 2 of my sons since this horrible nightmare has occurred. One was killed at 19 years old. Another one was killed at 17 years old back in 2016 while I was housed at ADX. I've lost everything there is to lose but my self-worth, my pride, and my dignity. I'm asking that Mr. Chad realize his misquote about my entire situation, especially about me going to protective custody, whatever that means. Mr. Chad knows about prison politics and how detrimental it could be to my character and my name when he says that type of statement. So I stand here as Larry Bush Jr., a man of good standing with all real men who are serving time in the BOP. And I stand on that. I'm in good faith, good standing with all the real men who serving time in the BOP. And that's facts. Now, again, I do identify with what Mr. Chad was saying. The prison system is real torture to live in an environment where you have to stay on guard at all times. That's life on these level 7 prison yards. Now, here's my plea to anyone that could bring my case to someone that could possibly help me regain my freedom. I reiterate to you that I fought in self-defense, but I had no help to prove this point. The prosecutor on my case was very overzealous about sending me to death row. So out of fear for my life again, I took the plea agreement. I received life without parole. My children are getting killed out there. I need to be home to show my family I've changed. I was 31 when all this happened. I'm almost 50 years old now. I caught COVID and I almost died in here. I have a thyroid issue I take meds for. I have hypertension I take meds for. All serious conditions. But due to lockdowns, I was unable to file for compassionate release. I have the motion drawn up, but I'm unable to submit it to the courts because I can't seem to get a hold of my medical records from the prison that's housing me now to show my medical conditions. So Mr. Chad, he had very, very valid points about violence and just the way things run inside of here. It's messed up. Just the other day, I watched a documentary by Jay-Z and Yo Gotti about the prison conditions at Parchman Prison in Mississippi, where young black men died after being incarcerated and mistreated and left for dead for unjust reasons. Their mothers heartbroken because there was nothing they could do to save their sons. I don't have a mother to stand beside me. All my parents are deceased. 2 sons, deceased. 6 more children, and a host of grandchildren, which I've never met once. I do not deserve to die in prison. All I did was protect my own life. I need help with getting that point across to the federal courts. So I'm calling on all the influential brothers out there. I'm about Jay-Z, Yo Gotti, Game, Whack 100, Jay Prince, Kim Kardashian, Rick Ross, Remy Ma, Nicki Minaj, Dr. Dre, whoever else, goddammit, Oprah, LeBron James. I need light shed on my case so it can be shown I was unjustly convicted when in fact it was self-defense, but I don't have the resources to prove those facts. Thank you, Mr. Chad, for giving me this opportunity to be heard. And so you know, my road to a better me, I've completed my GED, plus 50 rehabilitation classes since being incarcerated. If I was given another chance, excuse me, I'm emotional. I'm willing to advocate.
Take your time, bro.
I'm willing to advocate for the youth and show them that violence isn't the key I would like to start with educational classes, major book reading, learning the laws in state and federal levels, so we would be informed on what the laws really are and what they really mean. I want to start a GED preparation class. I'm willing to even go as far as free lunch programs and more, all positive things to curb the senseless violence. I hope and pray that someone hears my story and take a leap out on faith, because God knows I don't deserve to die in federal prison. With that being said, I'm hoping Mr. Chad finds it in his heart to correct his misstatements and help a father get home to his children. I leave as I came, with pride, dignity, and self-worth. I just gave you guys the facts. Larry Bush Jr., and I'm well known as OG Larr Dogg. My contact information is Larry Bush Jr., 41756-074, USP Pollock, P.O. Box 2099, Pollock, Louisiana 37467. Oh yeah, Keita Rose from Didi in the Morning. Repost this. Didi in the Morning. Repost this so the world can see my cause. Breakfast Club. Repost this. Big Boy from Big Boy Radio, California, homie. Repost this. I need y'all help. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much, Mr. Chad. I appreciate you. That's all, homie.
Like I once said before, we're not here to bash him in no type of way, but we are here to state the facts of what really happened and what is really going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos, y'all. And I know this video was kind of different, something I don't normally do, so y'all just stay tuned, because I'm gonna come at y'all with another banger. I know I've been missing, I've been MIA, but I had to put this out there. I had to let it be known, and I had to let my father's voice be heard. So like I said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you click that bell so you be notified every time girl posts, and I'm gone.